This episode is titled The Laughing Fish. It came out on January 10th, 1993. Directed by Bruce Timm, written by Paul Dini, and animation by Dong Yang with layouts by Spectrum. Featuring Kevin Conroy as Batman Bruce Wayne, Bob Hastings as Commissioner Gordon, Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. as Alfred, Robert Costanzo as Harvey Bullock, Rocco and the Fisherman, George Zunza as G. Carl Francis, Thomas Jackson and the Fisherman, Mark Hamill as the Joker, and a character named Steve Dorr, who I don't even know who that is, and finally Arlene Sorkin as Harley Quinn. Honorable mentions here, Dong Yang animated this episode with layouts by Spectrum. They previously animated the episodes that we reviewed, which were Joker's Favor, Nothing to Fear, Appointment in Crime Alley, Eternal Youth, See No Evil, Two-Face Part 2, I've Got Batman in My Basement, The Forgotten, The Cape and Cow Conspiracy, Robin's Reckoning Part 2, and Perchance to Dream. By God, that is a list of episodes, and it's just another feather in their cap, because I thought this episode looked very good.
Oh, yeah. Obviously, this is a classic Batman the Animated Series episode. This is one that I've rewatched several times. I've rewatched with you several times, and I think it goes down as one of the most iconic episodes of the whole entire franchise.
I agree totally, and I thought like maybe upon reviewing it, you know, I wanted to watch it with review eyes and see if I could if I still felt that way. And I even with reviewing it and like taking my time and learning everything about it and critiquing it, it's still absolutely one of my favorites, so it holds up for sure. Director creds, well, it's Bruce Timm. He's been credited previously on this podcast multiple times, especially in our Heart of Ice review, because that was the episode he directed, and writer Paul Dini, who also wrote that episode, was credited in our Joker's Favor review. So go back and listen to those episodes if you're interested in hearing more about their careers. Acting creds, all returning characters have been credited previously on this podcast in their first appearances, such as Robert Costanzo in On Leather Wings, or Arlene Sorkin as Harley Quinn in Joker's Favor, so go back and listen to those episodes if you want to know more about those voice actors. As far as new acting creds go, we've only got one new actor who's appearing in this episode for the first time. His name is George Zunza. He makes his DCA debut in this episode. He will go on to voice both the ventriloquist and Scarface. And he also will voice...
Oh, that makes sense. And I'm guessing he plays the guy that gets the Joker toxin at the beginning, right?
Yes, sorry, I forgot to mention he plays G. Carl Francis.
Yeah, he has like the I don't know, boss type of voice, yeah.
Yes, he does. Yeah, like, Batman, why'd he spray that gunk on me? And that's very much the ventriloquist type of like, I'm scared voice. He also voiced Perry White in Superman the Animated Series, and he will go on to play Dr. Gregory Belson in Batman Sub-Zero. So he's playing quite a few characters in the DCAU that are well known. He's also known for playing Cobb in Crimson Tide, Detective Gus Moran in Basic Instinct, and John in The Deer Hunter. Those are the creds that I've never seen any of those movies, actually, but they're well-known movies, so I thought I'd throw them in there. Then our utility belt of fun facts. There's quite a few for this episode, but they're all pretty good, but I'll rattle through them. The box the Joker grabs a wrench from says Binford Tools on the rooftop at the end. Binford Tools is the fictional tool company that sponsors Tool Time on the Tim Allen Show, Home Improvement. So okay. I guess that was a little like ode to them at that time period.
Because Bruce Timm was a huge fan or something, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. This is the first time Harley refers to the Joker as her puddin' in this episode. Yeah. So that's going to go on, obviously, and be well known throughout their time as a couple. This episode is an adaptation of two major Joker stories from the comics. The episode is primarily an adaptation of Detective Comics 475 titled The Laughing Fish, and also 476, as it was broken up into two parts. And then you've got The Sign of the Joker by Steve Englehart and Marshall Rogers. It's also a loose adaptation of the third act story from Batman 251 titled The Joker's Five-Way Revenge by Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams. So I've read all of those actually fairly recently, and it's funny the things that this episode took, because it really is like the best pieces of those stories were injected into this one, and I just thought Paul Dini did a great job at like paying tribute to those great stories whilst also crafting his own kind of take on it. You know, it's really.
Do you think
good.
They were given like a master bible of all of like the old Batman comics to read to try and adapt from, or was it something that the writers maybe had to go and pursue themselves?
I don't know. It's a good question, because we know when we did the Spider-Man podcast that John Semper had a ton of Spider-Man knowledge that he kind of brought to the table as a fan. So maybe they did have that, as well as just their love for DC and Batman. Like Paul Dini especially, like probably had a treasure trove of comic stories that he wanted to tell. And I know a lot of directors like Kevin Altieri and such read old Batman comics and had love for characters like Ra's al Ghul. So yeah, it's possible they had a Bible, or they just brought their love for Batman and their knowledge to the table as well. It is revealed that Bullock knows the existence of the Bat computer in this episode, but how he learned it is exactly not revealed. It's possible, though, he might have just been referring to a computer used by Batman as Bat computer, as Batman labels his possessions Bat everything. Did you pick up on that?
No, I didn't, but I figured like maybe in passing, it's like, he could have said I analyzed it at home on my Bat computer,
Maybe. Yeah, it's the same with like people knowing the Bat Cave, right? And just assuming, like, we wondered, does everyone know that it's called the Bat Cave, or are they just assuming Bat Cave? Maybe they're thinking, well, he calls it a Batarang, so if he's got a computer, then it's the Bat computer. So it's possible that as well. When outside of Thomas Jackson's house, an assortment of police are standing guard. One of them is the police officer, the rookie cop from the episode POV.
Oh, really?
Young red-headed guy. Yeah, I spotted him. This is one of 4 episodes with no title card, the others being Heart of Ice and The Demon's Quests Part 1 and 2. Did you miss a title card in this episode?
I did, but also the fact that it wasn't there and it was just like rain was pretty cool and atmospheric and made me feel like it was a bit more of a serious episode. I don't know why.
I know what you mean. When it started, and I love this episode, so I was geared up already. But when it started, and you just got the sound of thunder, the rain, and the sign swinging in the wind, like the creaking noise of the sign, I was like, hell yeah, this atmosphere is so, like, I'm ready to watch this episode. Whereas I love the title cards, and I love the music. But yeah, there was something about this where Bruce Timm didn't do that for Heart of Ice either. Any Bruce Timm directed episode, he doesn't have a title card. He just had, like, Heart of Ice was just the snow and the snow globe, but there was music at least. So yeah, I thought it was an interesting choice, but it worked for this episode, definitely.
It did, yeah.
Whilst trying to cheer up Harley Quinn, Joker says that she can be his little mermaid. Mark Hamill previously had a small voice role as a sailor in the opening scene of Disney's The Little Mermaid, which I did not know, yeah. This marks the first time in the DCAU where the Joker is apparently killed, but later returns alive and unharmed without any explanation. The second time is in Batman Mask of the Phantasm, and many episodes to come where Joker is presumed dead, but reappears with no explanation. How do you feel about Joker being presumed dead and then coming back, and he's not like, I got out of that one by doing this?
Yeah, no problem with it at all.
Yeah.
Just kidding. The point of the Joker is he's got so much mystery around him, like, that dude can survive a shark attack. Of course he can.
Yeah, the less you know, the better.
Yeah, he would just pop up and be like, hello! He would go, right, this is my time to, like, reconvene and reconcile, and I'll be back, bitch. I'll be back.
Yeah, start a new plan and then hatch it, yeah.
Yeah.
When the Joker says, oh, trying to cheat the Joker, are you? To G. Carl Francis, he says it in the tune that of imitating Curly from the Three Stooges.
Mm-hmm.
And then even further, I guess Paul Dini's a fan because in the new Batman Adventures, Joker has a trio of goons named Mo, La, and Kerr based on and named after the Three Stooges. So I did not know that, but that's interesting. Hey, well, that's, it was a popular show probably when Paul Dini was a kid, so that makes sense.
Everyone loves the Three Stooges.
I've never seen a single episode. Have you?
It's very old.
Yeah, I know it's very old.
It's like the definition of slapstick. Oh, yeah. I bumped my head. Oh, I bumped your head. Oh, there's a pie in my face. Oh, why I order?
Yeah.
It's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. Harley's Kiss the Cook apron is later seen in the flashback sequences in Batman Beyond Return of the Joker. So that's interesting. That apron reappears many, many years later. According to Eric Radomski, Bruce Timm directed this episode as a result of the network not wanting to pay for an extra director, leading to the two splitting 7 episodes that weren't previously assigned to anyone. So that's why Bruce Timm directed Heart of Ice and
like it goes off and directs like the most iconic and like award-winning episodes. Like, that's a pretty baller move right there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and Eric Radomski goes on to direct like Almost Got 'Em and a bunch of other. I think maybe the Trials Down Reba, but yeah, some great episodes as well. So they definitely chose the ones where they're like, yeah, I want to do this one. And finally, Bruce Timm praised the music in this episode as he wanted the score to sound like a horror movie. And buddy, I will tell you, like, this music is so like Bernard Herrmann, Hitchcock, Psycho, Vertigo.
It's Psycho, yeah.
Yeah, it's so Psycho. There's even like a wee at one point with the shark attack scene. And I love this music so much. I just really like that, like, yeah, I love
it's like
that.
when it's extremely, that tone is exactly when in Psycho when the woman's escaping in the car.
Yes.
And she's driving in the rain and like looking around, like it's like very similar.
She looked like a wrong one to you?
Acted like one.
The only funny thing, she paid me $700 in cash.
It's very similar. I agree, and I really, really like it. So yeah, the music in this episode, I think, like, without this music, I would still love this episode, but the music brings so much to the table where I'm just like, it makes it so much richer, this episode, for me. I really dig it.
Bye-bye.
He's crazy.
So yeah, what did you think of this episode, as you haven't seen it in quite a while, have you?
No, I haven't. It's great. I mean, it's odd to, we have lots of fun on this show. There's a few moments that I found a bit silly, but overall, it's a fucking classic, and super nostalgic as well, and a bit scary that I love. Like, there's horror elements in this episode, stuff that scared me as a kid, that still to this day I'm like, oh, that's fucking cool. Like, it goes from being scary to like cool as an adult, and by that I mean obviously the shark when it first passes in the light. And he turns his head, and it's the same smile. That always scared me as a kid, just being petrified of sharks because of Jaws.
Now this one came with his own grin. Love that
right.
line. There's some amazing Joker lines in this episode too.
But just right before that, just Joker leaning against the wall in the dark and like a torch going on him is one of the scariest things to me. That like,
yes,
you're in the dark and there's just a clown smiling, like leaning up against the corner. That's it. Like that, like that's frightening.
Yeah, the way the torchlight went up his body, like as Batman was like, okay, that's the Joker, and then you see his face just grinning, and he's just sitting there, standing there waiting for him. I really like
leaning
that
against the wall with his arms crossed. It's very very cool and spooky, and he's Joker's really funny in this episode as well. Like, he's most of his jokes land, like the Great Scott, actually I'm Irish, that lands really well, and so many of his other lines, and just it's a classic. It's a classic episode.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I do love so many elements, and there were some things I found funny, so we'll get into talking about it. I really do love the opening scene, as we said, but the one thing that I found interesting and I wanted to query with you is Batman is just at the docks, and he's like, he's made his move. How did he know to be at the docks that Joker was going to strike there?
I was thinking about it. I think that maybe a few laughing fish have shown up, right?
Right.
And so Batman's investigating it, and now he sees that all fish have the smile. So he's like, all right, he's made his fucking move now.
Gotcha. Okay, because I was like thinking, like, were you just in the right place, right time, or was it like fish and chips night at Wayne Manor? Like he's picking up a couple cod for Alfred.
Alfred, I love watching when they get that fresh batch, and I get to choose my own fish, Alfred. Oh yes, sir. Choose me a big one, please. You have to be here to choose it, Alfred. I'm going to give you a little small one. That's not very nice, sir.
There is a really fun transition of the newspaper spinning, and I do love that when we see it in this show where it's like, here's some exposition for you, and then it transitions into Alfred holding the newspaper in the Batcave. I thought that was a
great
really
transition. Yeah, love it.
I love that. And then one of my favorite Alfred lines in this entire show is when he sees the Joker fish and says, "Dining in tonight, sir."
Absolute classic.
And what follows for me is even funnier because Batman says, like, the dissection tray, Alfred, and he turns back to look at the fish, and then he turns again, and he looks at him like, you sassy bitch. Like, he gives him this second glance, and I was like, why are you cracking jokes over here? Like, this is serious business, Alfred. Just because this fish is smiling doesn't mean that I am.
breaking tension with humor, sir, because you've brought a lot of scary shit into my life.
And you've ruined fish and chips night.
You ruined fish and chips night, and I didn't realize I had to take all the weight of what goes on in Gotham on my fucking shoulders and yours. So, with a little humor every now and then to break the tension, sir, you will be dining in tonight because I'm not fucking cooking for you tonight. How about that? How about that?
And Alfred looks so disgusted when he cuts open the fish as well. And I was like, buddy, you've cut open the fish in your life. There's no way you've never like done that before. He's like, oh, that's disgusting.
Maybe he's like me. Maybe the fish makes him sick.
Maybe, yeah. He's the only Brit that doesn't like fish and chips besides
Joke's
you.
on you, sir. I fucking can't stand fish and chips. I planned this whole thing with the Joker so we could stop having fish and chips night. Because you said, oh, I'm going to do fish and chips night for Alfred because he's English, so he must love fish and chips. Well, actually, sir, I fucking hate fish and chips. How about that? So I've teamed up with the Joker to ruin fish forever. They're all stinky now. Now you know how I feel. I want fucking hamburgers and chips from McDonald's tonight, sir. Every night. That's what I want. KFC for me.
What did you think of the Joker scene at the copyright office?
It's a super Joker vibe. I love when he just shows up somewhere. Like, for instance, you have the Killing Joke when he shows up, which is the most iconic one, in his Hawaiian shirt, and he permanently paralyzes Barbara Gordon. But there's also in the Scott Snyder run on the New 52 when the Joker shows up at the police station and Gordon sees him and he's like, holy shit! And like the lights go out and then he kills a bunch of police. Like Joker just showing up places is the best. And it's like in Batman 89 when he shows up at the gallery and just starts painting everything. Like that's the way I like the way he operates. There should be more of that. I like Joker just showing up unannounced. That's just mwah to me.
Yeah, I agree. It's like in Mask of the Phantasm when he shows up at Arthur Reeves' office, right? And there's like lightning and he's having that whole like chat with him and he's trying to figure out who the Phantasm is because he knows it's not Batman. And he's so intimidating when he does that. Now, I really love the copyright office scene, but I've got a question for you because this is the first time that we see a purple trench coat and hat on the Joker opposed to his grey trench coat and hat. Which do you prefer, the grey trench coat and hat?
I like both
purple?
equally. I like both equally. Yeah, can't choose. It's like having two my children. I can't choose which one I like better.
I think I dig the purple trench coat and hat more because it just suits his vibe a bit more. Like the grey one is more gangster. I'll give it to him. But like for the flair and like the eccentric Joker, I really like him having like a matching purple everything. I just think it looks so good on him.
And maybe the grey is for when he's trying to blend into the crowd.
Yeah, because I guess in Joker's favor, he's wearing the grey because he's trying to disguise himself in the car, isn't he, as like a normal citizen? Yeah, so that's true. I do love since every fish in Gotham now bears my famous and frankly fabulous face. He's just, Mark Hamill just is so he's always good.
Not just Mark Hamill in this episode. The actress who plays Harley Quinn is also pitch perfect in this episode.
Yes.
Her tones, everything she says, like how could you not fall in love with this character after watching this episode? She just like stinky, like all that stuff. Like it's just so, and like the song that she sings, like with the cheeks, like it's just like for a new Batman character that's like the Joker's girlfriend, you would think that's gonna fucking bomb. That's gonna be shit. Yeah. I don't want that. If someone said to me like, "Hey, there's a new like movie coming out and Joker has a girlfriend and she's like crazy as well," I'd be like, "Oh god, that sounds like shit." Nope, it's fucking excellent, and this show does it incredibly well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, this episode is when we finally see the real Harley Quinn, right? Like we're like, oh, okay, this is her fully realized. Because in Joker's favor, she was just made her debut and she was great, but this one, Arlene Sorkin really got to like flesh out that character and make it her own.
Ooh, fish stinkeroni.
So you were talking about the jingle for the Joker's Fish commercial, and I love that. Like, I love their finny and funny and oh so delish, joyful and jolly Joker fish. Yeah, so good. And I love how the goons are dressed up as children too. Like, they look really annoyed. These big tough guys. One's in like a dress, and you can see his hairy legs under the table. The other one's got this like umbrella hat on. I thought it was really funny. Very Joker as well. And like, Joker's got all his catchy marketing slogans so on point in this episode. Smiling Smelt, giggling grouper, happy haddock. I was like, those are all great. Like, I would I would buy a Joker fish with this marketing. You sold me, sir. You've sold me.
No, it doesn't take much for you to buy something. Hey, you want to buy this? Yes.
Yes. It was in
something
Batman.
to buy. I'll take it. Take 3.
So what did you think of Batman's police disguise?
Okay, yeah, this is where I have one little beef for this episode. But the fact that everyone's like, no one's going to sneak in here. He's like, well, if I snuck in, anybody can. And do you think Batman purposely had his mask on there to be like, I'm going to prove how fucking easy it is to sneak in because I'm going to sneak in with a full Batman mask on. And I'm going to be like, hey there, Greg. And he'd be like, yeah, hi, Jeff.
You're looking a bit different today, Jeff.
I forgot to shave this morning. It's, that's quite the 5 o'clock shadow you got there, Jeff.
Yeah, it's on my eyes.
Yeah, goes all the way up to your eyes and covers your ears, and that's a mask.
That's Batman's mask. Jeff is Batman?
Where'd you get Batman's mask from? Yeah, eBay. Gotham eBay.
It's funny you ask if he actually was wearing his mask because I noticed this time around they do a quick pan across the room before Batman reveals himself, and you can see Batman standing in the corner with the police uniform on, and you can clearly see his mask. So that dude was standing there with the bat mask on.
Maybe it was like he thinks he's the most gross detective, and like the police just like knew it was like they're just waiting, right? They're like, all right, we gotta look out for suspicious people. Batman is coming, by the way. Okay, and you see like, hey guys, it's me, Jeff, and he walks up, and they're like, are you fucking serious? Like, they're like, just to appease him. Like he likes to make a big reveal.
He tries so hard.
Last time we called him out, he was such a little bitch about it, and he didn't help us with the case. And remember all that paperwork? Oh, you're right. Okay. Hey Jeff, how's it going? Yep, it's me, Jeff. You guys been stopping crime, right? Not doing crime. We stop it. We stop crime. We're cops. I'm Jeff. You are Jeff. It says it on your badge. It says just Jeff, not your last name. My last name is Jeff. Your name is Jeff. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go inside. Hey, remember, look out for the Joker, guys, or anything suspicious. You never know who might be breaking in. Wink. Everyone was like, you gotta see what Batman's done this time. He's pretending to be Jeff again. Jeff. Really? Yeah, full mask Jeff. Oh, it's my favorite.
He's done it before.
Yeah, he's like, fuck this, let's go inside. I love when he does the reveal. Like, we all don't fucking know. Oh, it's the best. And he's Bruce Wayne, right? Yeah, I know.
That's the name on his police tag. It's police officer Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. You said your name's Jeff, but your police tag says Bruce Wayne. Oh, that's interesting. Alfred, you really fucked that one up. I was in a rush, sir.
Whoopsie.
I mean, Jeff.
I thought that the smiling fish torpedo was kind of cool, though. I know it only affected G. Carl Francis because of the perfume that Harley sprayed, but that's such a Joker plot, right? Like, he counted on him being so swept up with police that he wasn't even going to have time to, like, take a shower. And I thought that was it was a long shot, but Joker does that, right? Like, he bets on the unlikely things actually happening, which I like. We also see our first Joker gassed victim in this show.
Ooh, and it is messed up.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool to see. Like, I know we've seen it in Mask of the Phantasm, but I wanted to ask you, because when we did Mask of the Phantasm, Sal Valestra, that gangster that Phantasm finds, and he's like frozen like this, smiling. Do you think that Joker gassed him to death, or do you think Joker killed him and fixed that smile on his face? And before you answer, the reason I asked that question is because later on in that movie, Arthur Reeves is Joker gassed, and he's just laughing in the hospital like a madman. He
Yeah,
doesn't.
but I think you
die.
laugh until you freeze up.
Yeah, but Arthur Reeves like lasts so long.
He's a
on the
younger
Joker.
man. And also, I think that the Joker probably took the dude's oxygen tank, right? And then put Joker laughing gas in it. So he's going, well, what he's really breathing in is the laughing gas.
Okay, so yeah, it was all gas. And so I guess it's not the first time in this world that we've seen a Joker gas victim, but it's the first time in an episode instead of a movie we've seen the result of the Joker gas. And I've always found the look of them really frightening and
Me too.
disturbing.
Adds to the horror elements of this episode again. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. It reminded me of the news reporter in Batman 89 as well, right? When she like falls off her chair and she's got that like fixed grin on her face.
I remember when I was trying to break into comics, I used to do like commissions for random people, and somebody, I couldn't tell if they had like a fetish for that, but
What,
some guy got
Joker
me to draw.
victim?
Some guy got me to draw a lot of Jokerized women. I will
Really?
say that much. Yeah, I remember doing it and being like, "That's close enough to the comic book industry, right? Like I'm drawing Batman, right, guys?"
Wasn't
No.
it the wasn't it the characters that say "Love that Joker"? Wasn't it the story about
Yeah, I
how
did.
they?
I did a whole like comic, a Joker fan comic for a guy, but I don't know if it was the same guy or not. But someone else always had me draw like specific people with women with the Joker rigor mortis thing, like from other things like an anime and stuff like that.
Right.
And I don't know if the guy was wanking to them or not, but he was ordering off a divvy or not. I'll just say that. Yeah, he was loving that Joker. The things we do before we break in.
Well, speaking of love and Joker, I do love when Joker takes over the TV. I love when he says this, he's like pretending to be a news reporter and he's like, this just in. And he's like, G. Carl Francis is taking an extended vacation. And then he puts a smile on him. He's like, looks like he's having more fun already. And then he goes, but I'm not happy. And it's the way he goes from like happy clown to like scary, menacing murderer. And I was like, God, that balance, like it's so unpredictable. I love
Maybe
the
Joker's
mood
a bit
change.
bipolar, right?
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah, because the mood changes are what make him even more unpredictable and scary. I think it's great. And even when he goes on like, and now Batman, because I know you're watching, like, and then he's like, here's a message from our sponsors. And he's sponsoring his own made up news show with his own made up company. I was like, the dude knows how to be a marketing genius.
Also, do you think he knew that people were trying to change the channel and that's why he stopped and like, like, you can't fucking change this shit. There's absolute troll off there. He was like,
yeah, I do like that. Were you surprised by Fat Batman before it was revealed that he switched with Thomas, the next
no,
victim?
I knew it was coming.
Oh, you did? Now, did you watch this with your wife who's never seen it?
Yeah.
Was she like, why is Batman fat?
She didn't give a shit.
She didn't care. Okay, I thought maybe that would be something where it's like, why does he look like that? Because I remember as a kid being like, whoa, what's happened? Why? And then it was like, oh, he switched.
After we watched it, I was like, what did you think? And she just gave me the answer of like me telling her that I unlocked a new Pokemon as a child in my video game. It was like, yeah, very nice. Like, I was like, I mean, I know what that means. You're just saying that to appease me because you know that it means a lot to me.
Well, at least you got that.
It reminds me of, I remember the first time so clearly when I was a kid and I was talking to our mother and I was like, yeah, so like I was telling her like in Pokemon, like Bulbasaur turns into Ivysaur and then that turns into Venusaur and I got one of those and I was telling her all the stuff and she was just like, that's nice. Oh, wow, really? That's great. And I remember as a kid being like, you don't give a fuck what I'm saying, do you? You're just appeasing me. How fucking dare you? If you don't care, then tell me to shut up. Fuck you.
The next time she's telling you about something she really likes, you're like, that's nice.
I think I did that as well. But I feel like that was the moment my childhood ended. Like, that was my figuring out Santa's not real moment because I was like, oh, people don't give a shit what I have to say. Oh, I'm a child. Oh. All right, I'll shut the fuck up now.
I'm never going to talk about this stuff ever again.
I will save it for myself.
And my career.
And my career.
I will say that this episode, that you've sparked that memory now, is the episode that whenever I'm like with someone that's never seen Batman the animated series and is interested in watching it, this is the episode that I show. Like,
right.
My girlfriend never seen it, and this was before we even did this podcast. she's like, yeah, I'll watch an episode, and I put this one on, and kind of the same thing. She's like, yeah, that was fun, like I just watched 20 minutes of a cartoon, and I know it means a lot to you, so I won't say anything more. But like when I used to live in America still, and would come back to visit every year here in the UK, there was one like Christmas where, as a family, you, me, our dad, and our mum sat down and watched this episode. It was again, it was like, oh yeah, I remember this show as kids, and I was like, yeah, let's put this on then.
Well, that's because Wig was in town, which means we're going to listen to Dave Matthews, we're going to watch Batman the Animated Series, and we're going to talk about women.
That's right, baby. It's my 3 favorite things. I also did find it funny, though, when Batman goes into the bathroom to change back into his Batsuit, he leaves Thomas in the Batsuit that he gave him, which means he brought an extra Batsuit with him.
Well, it's not going to make him wear his own one.
Well, it'd be so funny if he did, though. Like, imagine if he just dragged Thomas's corpse into the bathroom, and Gordon's like, "What are you doing? We need to preserve the crime scene." And Batman's like, "I did not think this through. I need my costume back."
I'm not going to stay dressed as this guy this whole freaking time, right?
Yeah,
by the way, guys, it's me, Batman. Oh, Jeff, you got us again. Wow. You're that guy now. Yeah.
You were a police officer now. No, there's no way. You can't.
Actually, I'm Commissioner Gordon. Whoa. Now, Jeff, that was a good one. I didn't see that one coming. This guy's dead, by the way. So, did you just take his cat in the other room and kill it? Yeah.
Yeah. He's seen too many like episodes of Mission Impossible or something. He's just like, oh, the reveal of pulling off the mask is just mwah. That's
it would have
my
been
favorite.
great if you didn't have horns sticking out of Commissioner Gordon's head, but you were close.
Do you think Batman's going to bring that cat back to the Batcave to study it and then ultimately toss it down a hole with the other dead cats?
Ah, a new cat for our collection, I see, sir. And this one looks like the Joker. Great.
They all smell the same.
They all sound the same. 80 meters below. Wow.
He's like not even done with it, and Alfred's already putting it in a bag. He's like, "It's a goner, sir."
I injected it with a serum. It will be fine. Well, all of its arms and legs are broken now because it has fallen into a pit in the Batcave. Oh, Alfred, you have a problem. Oh, I'm not the one bringing all the fucking cats home, sir.
Alfred becomes a serial killer because of this.
It's the Batcave with the Batcave, sir.
It's the mystery of the cat murderer. He struck again.
This sounds like a job for Jeff.
What do you think of the Joker's aquarium hideout in this episode?
Incredible, but also, is it abandoned, or is he just like poisoned all of the fish at the local aquarium and he's hanging out there at night?
There was a sign outside.
Oh, there was a sign, you're right, that said closed for reconstruction or whatever.
Yeah, renovation. So I guess he got in
People are
there.
doing renovations, so
Yeah.
is there just a construction group in the corner being like, we don't get paid enough to deal with that fucking crazy guy in the corner?
Yeah. Well, they had the toolbox on the top of the roof too, so I guess they must have been Jokerized or just gone to another part of the aquarium. They're like, just don't go to the shark exhibit. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. You don't want to go there. So Joker is alerted to Batman arriving by the Joker theme as the doorbell, which I really liked. But then I was like, hang on, that means that the Joker has created his own theme tune that we all know, because the doorbell's like do 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 do, and then he squashes a whoopee cushion, which I guess is like the lights out protocol, because his men.
Yes.
But
I know. I think it's the Batman's here protocol, and like I just think there's so much prone to accident. Like it is the worst system. Like, have you seen his thugs? The protein farts coming out of those two alone. Like in the middle of the night, one of them will just be like, "Poor," and they're like, the bat's here. Shut the lights out. And they're eating fish all the time as well. Like, they're constantly going to be paranoid because they think Batman's around every corner because they hear farts constantly.
do you think also they were like, what did the whoopee cushion mean? Like, was it set the timer on the explosives? No, that was the honking horn. What was the whoopee cushion? Like, how many different like weird noises does he have for like a signal of something to do?
Maybe he just farted. Maybe boss just went past.
My love that Batman moment is a tie between his silhouette in the Batmobile, and also when he sneaks in through the skylight.
Mine's
like,
the skylight one, yeah.
Yeah, I think even though the Batmobile side profile is like super famous and well known now, like it's used in a load of like referencing clips of this show, there's something about him, like the way he's shadowed, just the blue trim on his costume, the whites of his eyes as he's like slipping in on the rope, like he just looks the business, doesn't he? He looks so fucking cool when he's coming in there. And I love a sneaky Batman. I love him walking around with like a torchlight and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that's cool. So what did you think of Batman versus the Shark?
Classic. I think the Shark's real spooky looking with this huge wide grin. There is an animation for sale of Batman riding on the Shark, and I want it so badly.
Yeah.
But it's like £1,000.
Yeah, I know. It's also
so if you want us to buy that, then pledge in to. How do people give us money on this podcast again?
We've got a tip jar.
Yeah, a tip jar, tip it, and we'll buy it for me, not for him, for me.
Oh, thanks. There is an ode to a comic book where where Batman is on top of a shark, and especially the chain. I love how he puts the chain around the shark's mouth, and pulls it back and like rides him like a horse. I think that's really cool. A little Batman 66, but also very much fun in its own way.
Well, it's also like Anakin doing the same thing in episode 2, which is an homage to John Carter of Mars, I believe, doing the same thing to some sort of Mars creature in the Gladiator ring. So I don't know if it's an homage to that or not.
Yeah, no, it's a good shout. It could be. I do love when Joker's just watching and laughing and reacting to what's going on off screen in the Shark Tank.
Yeah.
And like Harley even looks at him with this concerned look on her face, like, oh, fuck, he really is crazy. Like she looks at him like, what's wrong with this guy? But that's just so Joker. Like he's enjoying the show that he's created. I really like that.
What I don't understand is why does he, first of all, why is there a giant fishing rod in the aquarium? Is that how they feed them? Like that's what they're saying? It's like the crane to feed the animals.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But then why does it go all the way up to the roof? Like,
well, maybe he rigged it. Maybe he rigged it to do that.
To do what?
To go further than... I guess the pole wouldn't go that far, would it?
For him to escape? Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing is how does he smash his head through when there's a pole like 2 stories above him? That scene doesn't make any sense.
Well, he turns it's not an ejector seat, but he turns it to go up, and then he looks and he's like, oh my god, I'm going to go through this window. But he must have known that he was going to escape through the roof anyway, right?
But I'm saying that there's a crane that's 2 stories above him as he's going up as well, so that would have smashed through the roof before that, or crashed into it and broken.
Oh, I didn't see the crane. Oh, okay.
No, the fishing rod.
Oh, okay.
He's sitting on a fishing rod. It goes up.
Oh,
and then he
see.
looks up like, oh no, there's a roof here. But what about the fishing rod? That would have already gone through the roof.
Yeah, so that would be the first thing that breaks through the roof. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense. It was just, we need to get Joker up to the roof. I'm like, just cut away and have him up on the roof.
Yeah, have him like run up a fire escape or something like that. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, but I do love the Joker versus Batman confrontation on the roof. It's like one of my favorite Batman versus Joker scenes because the animation is just even more fantastic in this scene. Like I love the lighting on the Joker as he's laughing and stumbling, and Batman's shadow just runs across the floor as the bat signal, and then he lands behind him and he's just like shadowed silhouette behind the Joker. It just looks so good. It's pure comic book Batman versus Joker in like the darkest way possible. And Batman backhands the Joker as well. Like he gives him like the biggest backhand slap. And I thought that was interesting that he chose backhand and not to throw a punch.
Well, because he's treating him like a little bitch, right?
Yeah, I guess.
You backhand somebody that you think is below you, so he's like, shut up, bitch.
Yeah. But then I guess that's why he underestimates the Joker, because then the Joker has that great line of, meanwhile, back at the wrench, as he hits him with a wrench.
I love Joker with tools. Crowbar Joker is the classic. Like, Joker just using some heavy little piece of iron to whack somebody is the best.
Yeah. So how do you think the Joker escaped the shark, if you were to make a guess?
He could have punched it in the nose, the eye. He could have squirted it with like some stuff, like
Yeah, he could have squirted it.
He's got all types of tricks, like little knives on him and stuff. Like he's fine. He's a slippery little bugger.
Yeah, I did think his escape plan wasn't very good though, because like if the shark wasn't there, what was his plan? To just like float away in his inflatable duck donut? because Batman could just dive in and get him, and he's like,
No.
"You'll never catch me, Batman." Then he's like, "Oh, this is a lot slower than I imagined." He's just like slowly drifting away, and Batman's like, "I can get you, dude. Like, I can see you."
Just gonna rope you in.
Yeah, it'd be funny if Batman had his own inflatable donut built into his utility
He's like,
belt as well.
"Joke's on you, Joker." Like the bat, like it looks like the man bat around him, like inflated up. Oh, wee! And he jumps in.
It's yellow as well.
Yeah.
Alfred made this for me. Who's Alfred?
My butler at Wayne Manor. I've given up. I've given up.
Yes.
I'm Bruce Wayne. We know. You do? We saw you get changed. Like, yeah, and you were giggling. And you were like, you said to yourself, Brucey, you've done it again. Bruce Wayne. The trickiest of all tricksters.
You accidentally patched into the speaker system and we could hear every word you were saying.
Yeah. Do you think it's a private line between you and Alfred Pennyworth? Because it's not.
It just cast on the radio. Everyone's tuning in. They're like, what's Batman saying this week? Whoopsie.
Not very good at this.
So Batman obviously is standing, looking out at sea as Harley throws a Joker card into the sea, and she mourns the loss of the Joker. Batman doubts that he's gone, and he looks out at the horizon as the shark is seen one last time eating the Joker card, and that is the end of the episode. So, buddy, every time we review an episode, the first question for you is: does this make your top 3?
I probably would say so. It depends on what the 3 are up there, right?
Yeah, so the 3 that we have right now are Perchance to Dream,
Love that episode.
Two-Face Part 1,
Love that episode.
and Joker's Favor.
One of my favorite episodes of all time. I would have to knock off the Two-Face one and put Laughing Fish up here. Not to be
agree.
a basic bitch that, like, it's 2 Joker episodes at the top, but what can you do?
Now, do you think Joker's Favor is better than this episode, or do you think this
I do. I just, something about Joker's Favor to me is like it's a pitch perfect episode. It has everything I love in it, so I love that.
That's fair. Yeah, I totally get why. I think for me, The Laughing Fish is my favorite Joker episode so far. It might still be, when we get to the end of the show, this might still be my favorite Joker. But yeah, there's something about this for me, especially the music. I just love everything about it. So, okay, so we've got now Perchance to Dream, Joker's Favor, and The Laughing Fish in our top 3. Very good. And what would you rank this episode out of 10?
I would give it a 9 out of 10.
I would give it a 9.8 out of 10. I think it's a near perfect episode.
So it's a 9.4 out of 10.
There we go. An average of 9.4. Yeah. Okay, great. Next up, we are reviewing the episode Night of the Ninja. Do you remember that episode?
Oh, wow. What a follow-up to this. I mean,
Yeah,
you
that's
think
true.
you think that The Laughing Fish was good. Wait till you see Night of the Ninja.
You ready for
wow.
Kyodai Ken?
Oh, Kyodai Ken. He sounds like the cast member of The Karate Kid. I'm very much looking forward to it.
So you want to be Kyodai Ken? I think you said
So you
that
want to
once.
be Kyodai Ken.
Yep, we've got that to look forward to next week.